Hey, what's up? This is Matt Dietz, and this is Agency Launch. This is the podcast where I talk about what it's like to run an insurance agency. I have been an agency owner for almost 18 years. I have about 4,400 policies, and I run my agency with just 2 employees. So there's 3 of us here. I talk about sales and marketing strategies for insurance agents. I talk about how to staff for insurance agencies. I talk about how to give great and unexpected customer service. And I use my agency as a way to tell stories and to give experiences on things that work and things that don't work. So thank you for listening. Real quick, I am running a end of year flash sale for everything on Agency Launch. This is my broke agent Black Friday New Year's resolution deal. I understand that money is tight when you're a new agency owner. I remember my first folio, I made $204, and I'm trying to make my course available to those who really need it. So I'm giving 50% off for a limited time. This course, it'll run you what is that? Like $80 a month, $80 a month for this platform, which is it's incredibly underpriced, but I want to make it available to those who really need it right now. So if you use the code 2023 when you check out, you can get anything in Agency Launch for 50% off. So get in. All right, so today I wanted to talk about something. I want to walk you through my thought process and a few things on how I've built systems in my agency. I sent out a text to my community. If you're not in my community, please get in. It's 208-213-8809. And I said, hey, take a look at what you did last year. Take a look at what worked last year and double down on it this year. What are you doing that's driving you business today? Where did you get your business? If you're getting your business and you're profitable from it, then do more of it. Okay, and that's easy to say. The other thing the perfect storm is that if you are getting business from something that you enjoy doing and that you're good at, then you're really clicking on all cylinders. Okay, so if there's something that you're doing that's working, that you like doing, that you enjoy doing, find a way to do a lot more of it. Now, the reason it's easy to say is because that's assuming that you have nothing else to do, right? You're running a business and you've got other things going on. So the flip side of that coin is trying to find the time to do more of that one thing that you do well. So I would ask you to take a look at the things that are not working for you, the things that are wasting your time. Take a look at your processes and say, well, is this thing that we do regularly every week, is it doing what it's supposed to be doing? And from a service standpoint, I'm going to dig in a little bit with the service standpoint. Okay. Maybe a little bit on the sales part too, but what are some of the things that you do in your agency that maybe you do it every week, maybe you do it every day? And what if you stopped doing that thing and it had minimal to no impact on your business? Now, this is a tricky balance because we want to be giving great service and we want to be there for our clients. And it's not like we're going to stop calling people back because it takes up so much time. That's not the kind of thing that I'm talking about. But some of the things that I've refined in my agency over time have been risks that I've had to take. I'm like, you know what we're going to do? We are going to stop calling on all of our claims that come in. Okay. We're just going to stop. And maybe we're going to be more choosy on which claims that we call on. Okay. So if you're in a larger agency and you call on every claim, which sure does feel like the right thing to do. You know what I mean? It's something I did early in my career. But as we grew and the volume of claims went up, we were spending a lot of time, talking to people about claims. Now, you might think, Matt, well, that's dumb. That's part of your job. You should be calling on claims. Well, we have really good people in the field that are handling our claims, and we have to trust our team out there, right? So is our claims team communicating with our clients in a timely fashion? Are they doing their job well? In a vacuum, what if you stopped calling on all of your claims and you just let the process work itself out? Would that impact your retention? Would you lose clients because of that? This is the thought process that I go through. So there was a period of time where I was like, all right, you know what we're going to do? We're not going to call on glass claims. We're not going to call on tow claims. We're not going to call on, smaller claims like that. We'll call on, all of our home claims, water claims. Those are tricky, and then accidents, right? So we kind of whittled it down to that, and it worked great. No one ever calls and says, Matt, why didn't you call me? I had a tow last night, or I got my windshield replaced. I expected a call from my agent. That never, ever happened. All right. And it saves us time. And those are the kind of little things that I've implemented in my agency that saves my team time, saves us time, and it does not compromise the service we give. We give really good service in my agency, but we have had to learn what that really means. Okay. So that's one example. Another example I'll give, I'm not even sure if this is even relevant much anymore, but back when I started years ago, like we would go out and look at all the homes. We were supposed to go out and look at all the homes, that we were going to write. And I have Monty that works in my office, and he still goes out and does home inspections. And we've had conversations, and I've said, you don't have to go out and do that. Okay. I mean, that can take 1 to 2 hours. Okay. Is that a good use of our time? He believes it is. He writes he writes more business than I ask him to. So, I'd let him do it. He likes doing it. It gets him out of the office. I'm fine with that. It gets him connecting with the clients, which is positive too. But I wouldn't hesitate to, I would be fine if he stopped doing that altogether, because we're talking about time here. We have resources and we have a way to, field underwrite a home without going out and looking at it. Okay. Is there a risk involved there? Yes. So there was a period of time when it was just me writing new business, and I stopped going out and looking at homes unless it was older than a certain period, unless it was the home was older than like 30 years old. We have a lot of new construction where I live. Okay. So any home, newer than 25 years, newer than 20 years, I would say, I'm sure everything's fine. And the few times a year where I got burned, whatever, it's fine. So if I write, 150, I don't even, how many homes do we write? We write like 300 homes a year, maybe, or something like that. If I went out and inspected 300 homes, that's 450 hours of time if I was going to go out and look at all of those. Okay. If I didn't do any of those, all right, and maybe I got burned on a couple. Maybe I had a couple come back and, the company goes out and inspects and declines it. Okay, what has to happen there? I have to, get with the client, talk with them, explain to them what happened. Maybe some things have to be cleaned up. Maybe it is a firm denial and we write them someplace else. I understand that is not a great use. It's not a good experience on the front end for those few clients. And literally this would happen like once or twice a year. Am I willing to have a client, have 1 or 2 clients a year, have kind of a rough start to my business to save 450 hours of time? Yes. 100% yes. Okay. So these are the kind of things that I think about, and I want you thinking about. What are the processes that are happening in your agency, that maybe you can get rid of? Maybe you stop calling on all of your renewals. Maybe you only call your top 100 clients, and I understand that my agency is a little bit bigger than the average agents. And I think the level of service that you give can change, or the processes that you have in your agency can change from year to year, but it's something you got to be cognizant of. You got to be paying attention on where your time is going. If you're in a growth mode and you just want to be writing new business, you have to be cognizant of really being protective of your time and making sure that, well, what if we stopped doing this altogether and it bought me 5 more hours a week? What can I do with that 5 more hours a week? Okay. So these are the things that I want you thinking about. Think about what you do every day. Think about what you do every week. Get with your team, and the other thing, the changes don't have to be permanent. Okay. If I stopped inspecting houses altogether, and I was getting slammed with declines, and I was getting 3 or 4 declines a month because I wasn't out in the field, I would change my process again. Okay. If my change is going to prove to give a poor experience to my clients, we would revert back and to do it doing right. So you have to tinker. Okay. You have to take some risks. You have to tinker, and you continue to do the things that work and you change the things that don't. All right. So that's what I got for you today. So take a look at your processes, see what you can do, and let's get more efficient this year. All right. So there you go. My name's Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dietz Agency. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Reach out to me if you have any questions or need anything. Also, don't forget about Agency Launch at agencylaunch.net. It's my full-blown training program. It's waiting there for you, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for listening, and keep up the good work.